what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to unpack, as they say, the very title of this panel. The title is called United in Diversity. Can multiculturalism hold a diversity together? So my first question here is quite simple. It is united in diversity. I actually question that, because in my view, you can't have it both ways. You simply cannot have it both ways. Either you strive for unity, you strive for cohesion, you strive for similarities, you go for the common ground, for proximity and all of these related ideas. Or you may favor, if you so wish, difference, distance, confusion of tongues, lack of understanding, etc. So you can favor, if you so wish, unity, or you can also favor, if you so wish, diversity. But you cannot favor both at once. That is not possible, in my view. I think that's a bit of a delusion, because they are polar opposites. You just cannot do that. You can say you do, you can claim you do, you can have conferences, you can have seminars, you can govern countries, under these banners as much as you wish, but it still doesn't work from, I would say, a logical, philosophical point of view. These are two very different ideas. So what has happened is something, I would say, intriguing and interesting. We used to favor equality. But now we are supposed to favor lack of equality. We used to favor similarities, and now we are told we should cherish the virtue of difference. Everything under the icy banner of multiculturalism. So things have changed, and this is also, I referred to it in my question before when I cited an old, very nice former Swedish prime minister, social democratic prime minister in Sweden, who was talking about Sweden being virtuous because, or lucky and happy country because we had a homogeneous society. So you have these shifts, and this is not a conflict between left and right. This is a conflict at the heart of left-wing ideology, or moderate left-wing ideology. I think that's worth mentioning. The next point here, which relates to the title, United in Diversity, Can Multiculturalism Hold a Society Together, is something that you hear very often. A kind of optimistic idea, an optimistic, perhaps a little bit naive idea. And it goes something along those lines. We must focus what brings us together. And it sounds fabulous, it sounds lovely, and it is also a very nice thing to say. I'm not saying people, they also refer to this in the previous panel. We are not claiming that people are necessarily evil-minded. They are good-natured and they want to do good things. So they say we must focus what brings us together. So what I'm saying, my comment here is this rests on the optimistic, or should I say, again, the sometimes naive assumption that we always have something in common. That we always have something in common. The one who seeks, he shall find. We just need to look for it. We need to look for it, we need to search for it, and then we will find it. That's, the logic behind this idea. But sadly, this might not be true. This entire idea does not work if we have nothing in common. If there is nothing underneath that unites us, then you can go look for it till the day you die, and you still will not find it. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just talking about mere differences. The problem of difference. There might be absolutely nothing in common, and what do you do? So, in order for this whole optimistic idea to work, we need to have something in common beforehand. For instance, I have some Tunisian friends, and we all play chess. So this is a lovely thing we share, and if we hadn't played chess, we wouldn't have had this common thing that can bring us together. So there has to be something in common. If it doesn't exist, you can't do anything about it. That's the point. So without any pre-existing common ground, these ideas have no meaning. And I do believe that this optimistic or naive, I would say, assumption that our differences are merely superficial, that the differences are superficial, and that the commonalities are always at the core of our existence, is very central to the whole multicultural delusion in which we are living. And there are so many delusions in the multicultural ideology, among the multicultural entourage, as I used to refer to these people. But so it's like a cobweb. It's an intellectual. It's so complicated. But this is just one of these contradictions or delusions, actually. The last thing I'd like to bring up is the question. The somehow subtitle of the title here: can multiculturalism hold a society together? That's a good question. Can it hold a society together? And my answer to this is that it depends. That depends. If we talk about the overarching society, the host community, Germany, Sweden, into which these people migrate, into which migrants, wish to live, the answer, in my view, is no. Because the basic idea of multiculturalism is not to foster shared views within the wider community, but to undermine them. And this is supposed to be a good thing. This is supposed to be a good, virtuous thing, that we have this diversity. Instead, the net result is that societies will become increasingly fractured. But, and this is why I said it depends whether societies we will create unity or not. But there is another society within the multicultural society, when the idea of multiculturalism and diversity has been finally implemented with the assistance of universities and the media and so forth. Another society within the multicultural society, namely the ethnic minority. The autonomy of the ethnic minority is the pillar, I would say, of multiculturalism, or at least one of the core ideas of multiculturalism, the virtuous identity and the right of the ethnic minority to live according to its principles, its ideas, etc. And this particular smaller society inside of the larger, wider host society is often run, not always, but often run by conservatives, often religious conservatives, who cherish and will implement a very homogeneous ethnic minority, often to the detriment of women and secular-minded people. So to sum it up, multiculturalism does two things. It contributes in undermining the wider community, but at the same time it fosters unity within its own cherished society by the name of the ethnic community. And the combination of the two is not beneficial for either democracy, solidarity, or equal rights, in particular for women. Sorry for being a bit lengthy. That's it.
Thanks, Göran.
Thank you so much.